Welcome back. To assist you on understanding where others sit in the behavior matrix, I have a system for you, the behavior matrix profiling system. Step one is to identify behavior. First, you want to identify where they sit in the quadrants. Then step number two is you then identify the core belief or the core concern that drives that individual through their behavior style. Step number three is what we call feed the beast or feed that core concern. And then step number four, we will then sell to the belief. Sell as far as sell ideas, concepts, even products if we're in the sales industry, or in a leadership position, we're always selling. So we're going to sell to the belief, really leverage our understanding of that person. Now let's practice step number one. That's what this is all about. Identify behavior. How do you identify behavior? First off, I want you to start paying attention to things you didn't notice before. The minutia, the small things. We'll start seeing things that we never saw before. Now, I go back to the scientific method here. You know, what we learned back in high school. The first step is observation. We're going to simply observe for the first little bit here. Then we're going to develop a hypothesis, a guess, on where we think they sit in the behavior matrix. Then we're going to test, research, experiment, by asking questions, by getting in a little bit deeper, and then finally we're going to come to a conclusion. Now I have a couple guidelines as we move through identifying behavior. Step number one, this process here takes moments to learn. It's really quite simple. It also takes a lifetime to master, so be patient with yourself. Step number two, or rule number two, is be right and be open. Meaning be willing to jump fully into the pool, not just simply dipping your toe in the pool, be willing to jump fully into the pool of they are a promoter. And then once you get in the pool, you can swim around a little bit and be like, maybe not a promoter, maybe more a director, and then move and be open to shifting your opinion. Let's go ahead and jump in on how do we identify behavior. Step number one, I use the two questions we used in the last video series on behavior matrix. The first question is asking ourselves the question, as we encounter anyone, in-life person or over the phone, you get to ask the question, are they more formal or informal? So this one to me is my first question because it's the easiest to quickly observe, because their formal or informal shows up in their speech patterns. Their greeting can be very telling, whether they use their full name or they abbreviate their name or they have a nickname. I can tell by their clothing, how they dress themselves, even if they're on a casual day. Now, formal versus informal doesn't necessarily mean that, wow, I show up to work in a shirt and tie, I must be formal. Well, that may be something I do for work specifically, but I may wear it in such a way that's a little bit more relaxed, such that I am actually more informal. So be warned by looking at just profession as well as attire at that moment as your only source of information, whether they're formal or informal. We can also look at a phone message, how we leave our voicemail when somebody calls us. That can tell us whether we're formal or informal. The second question, are they more dominant or flows with? Now this is how they approach situations. Are they stepping in, not afraid to step into the limelight, or are they hanging back? Are they a little bit more relaxed, waiting for life to come to them or the conversation to come to them? Remembering again, our dominant are more the promoter and directors, not afraid to take charge, comfortable to do so, and then my flows with are more my clarifiers and supporters, kind of waiting in the sidelines. Now, it doesn't mean that they're not willing to step into the limelight, it's just that it's not most comfortable to them. So once again, moments of meeting someone, say formal or informal, dominant or flows with. What I'd like to challenge you to do is make a list of 5 to 10 people in your life and ask the two questions, formal or informal, dominant or flows with, and start making some guesses of where they sit in the behavior matrix. In the next video, we're going to take a look at the formal behavior styles, the directors and the clarifiers, and take a look at how do we identify them in our lives. I'll see you in the next video.